Jim, I'm
Hi,
so
Chris.
excited.
How are you, man?
I'm so great. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Oh, glad to be
I want to
here.
start out with a really tough question. I'm sorry in advance, but would it be fair to say that Robotnik and Agent Stone have a teensy bit of sexual tension?
Robotnik and Agent Stone. You know what? I don't want to rule anything out. I don't want to rule anything out. You know,
That's fair. That's fair.
you
Yeah,
know,
just
any couple that's can stay together, while they abuse each other so terribly, really, there has to be something else going on there.
yeah, for sure. I got
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So this is for me personally. Any tips on keeping Austrian goat milk out of a giant mustache?
Oh no, there's no hope. There's no hope for
Keeping
that.
it out.
No, it's actually part of the part of the seasoning of the mustache. It's part of what keeps it buoyant.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I've been
I
trying to
like
grow
it.
it out, but that's the only thing keeping me from it is
I go
because
straight to the goat sometimes. Forget the
amazing.
packaging. Forget the packaging.
So speaking of this giant mustache, your look for Robotnik changed pretty drastically from
Yeah,
where you were at the beginning
it's
of
a
the first.
midlife mustache, I think, for Robotnik.
Oh, that's exciting because that's exactly what I wanted to ask
Yeah.
is Robotnik's look going to continue to evolve? Because I need to see what you would do with Fat Eggman. I got to
Well,
see Fat
I honestly, yeah, I've been lobbying for the fat Eggman, the big Eggman, kind of thing for a while. But apparently, they wanted to show the audience how imperfect my actual body is. So I've done that now. So you never know. But yeah, I mean, there's so much fun with the look of this character. I really wanted to start veering toward, and I lobbied hard toward, like, let's do the guy that they're used to seeing, and that mustache is an outward manifestation of ego, and he shaves his head on the mushroom planet because that's loser hair. That's the hair that lost the battle, man. You got to get rid of that,
Oh, that's
so
an interesting way to think of it. Yeah.
yeah. So he's all new energy. And then when he gets a hold of that emerald energy, which I'm hoping people will enjoy seeing that part of the video game come to life, is for me, that was real fun because then I could start thinking in terms of quantum fields and what would a demigod do with his lonely powers, It's
Yeah.
like, same thing, I think, whatever energy controls this universe is doing with us, there's no reason for individuals except that some greater mind than ours is just entertaining itself,
Yeah.
making doll houses.
Well, you've played so many amazing characters, but there's only a select few you've ever played more than once. Ace Ventura, Lloyd Christmas, now Robotnik. By the way, can I just say that you playing Cable Guy again is the only reason I tuned in for the Super Bowl. Only reason.
I heard that a lot, actually. That's pretty
Are
funny.
there any other characters that you love to revisit and play again?
Any other characters I'd like to revisit?
Any of your past characters?
I don't have any in mind that I would like to. Most of the time, when you make something that really hits with people, the sequels, have a diminishing return, because if you do it long enough after the fact, you're kind of like imitating yourself now. You're not in the original inspiration. So it's a good thing that these movies were kind of like close together. They were like an evolution that was being planned in my own head, at least from the get-go. I wanted to get there earlier, but it was great that we got to kind of change his look at the end of the first movie. And inside and out, he's evolving into this, uber, evil 3.0 quantum lunatic, malignant, narcissistic black hole that's sucking all things into himself, So what a great open field, I'm going fifth, sixth, and seventh dimension with it, man. That's where I go. That's where I go anyway in my life. I'm generally not in my body. I'm generally, I have to pour myself into a shoebox in order to identify as this character.
Yeah, been there, man. Jim, thank you so much for talking with me. It was amazing to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chris, I got to tell you, man, because it's comicbook.com, Marsden is going to try to slide a freaking Cyclops reference in this. I need you to
I didn't even have any prepared. I was going to spare you.
Okay, it's gonna happen. Watch, it's gonna
I'm
happen.
happy to if you want to go there.
Don't.
Happy to.
I'm not going to do it. I wanted to talk strictly Sonic with you guys. Ben, starting off with you in the part where Sonic sings, "This movie is the worst."
Yes.
I can't do it like you. I can't do it like you. But can you confirm that Sonic's doing a John Ralphio impression?
Sonic is in fact doing a John Ralphio impression. One of the people that pitched that idea is Toby Asher. He's right here. He's going to come on camera in this moment. Toby Asher and Jeff Fowler pitched this idea. He said that you got to come all the way in front of us. Pretend like you're me for a second. This is the producer of Sonic the Hedgehog. He's a wonderful man. He really is doing an incredible job with the world, and he doesn't get to get on camera enough. And comicbook.com is exactly where he should be right now.
We love John Ralphio.
Can I just say thank you for making that suggestion? I needed that as a Park and Rec fan. I needed that. That was great.
We also had one where I said, "Don't be suspicious," and then Toby and Jeff said, "You can't have two John Ralphio references in one movie," and I said, "You got it." So we cut it.
I actually disagree. I think you can have several, but that's just me.
Well, then get ready for 3, my man.
James, so curious, when you have to act opposite a CGI character, are there ever opportunities for you to improv, or does it really force you to stick like closer to the script?
Yeah, we have those opportunities to kind of play with it a bit, but like the script was so perfect when we came into it. You go in and you get what's scripted on the on the page, and then Jeff sort of opens it up to play around, and there's a wonderful actor. We shot this in Vancouver and in Hawaii, and a gentleman named Scott, who's always there on set, who's like a local stand-up comedian, very funny guy who kind of reads Ben's lines opposite me because Ben's in Los Angeles doing the voiceover work.
And Scott is in the movie. In the first scene, he's the security guy. He's an improviser
guy
in Canada.
In the first movie. So yeah, it's like, I think Jeff and Toby, who we just met, and everyone on board is like, best joke wins, right? As long as we find something that feels fresh and fun, and they're really open to it, and they trust us that we're not going to be some improv artists who come up with bad ideas. But yeah, there's a loose sort of fun feel on the set.
So we've always heard about this video game curse that says video games can't make good movies, but after Sonic and Detective Pikachu, I think the curse is broken. So have either of you played any other video games that you think like this would make a great movie?
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine Pong? Pong the movie?
That would be wild.
Or Zork. Zork would make a great movie, but Pong, what's another one? E.T. Can you imagine E.T. the video game as a movie? Can you imagine it?
I can. Actually. I think it would do pretty well.
What do you think? Maybe X-Men?
I don't know. Probably be
Cyclops.
Overrated. Fun video game. Boy, I'm going back to way back when. I can't think. Pong. What's the most like kind of crude, primitive ones?
Your Pitfall is a great reference.
Pitfall, Frogger.
Oh, Frogger, the video game. Yeah. I better be voicing that frog. If I'm not voicing that frog,
it's gonna be a frog.
I'm either the frog or one of those logs that the frog jumps on, but I'm definitely one of those.
And when the frog jumps on the log, you hear the worst. One of those.
Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today. And
nice to chat.
Sorry, I didn't ask any Cyclops question. Next time, though.
That's okay. We did all John Ralphio.
Keep an eye on it. One eye on it.
Let me get Plastic Man for you next. Thank you, guys. Colleen, I'm so excited to talk to you. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, hi, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's really it's a real pleasure. I love the movie. It's pretty rare whenever like voice actors will talk as a character in video games or cartoons and then make that leap over into movies. So what was your initial reaction when you learned that you would get to voice Tails in the actual Sonic movie?
I was thrilled beyond. There aren't words that have been created yet to explain how amazing that felt. I mean, it's just, I'm over the moon. I'm so excited. And you're right. Like we don't typically get to continue those roles. And I can't believe it. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, I have no doubt. But seeing now how you've worked with multiple people who have voiced Sonic and Knuckles, how do you feel comparatively about Ben and Idris Elba's performance?
I thought they did a fantastic job. I hadn't seen Idris's performance until I got to see the film, and I thought his take on Knuckles was fantastic. And Ben, of course, he's brilliant. He's funny. He's got so much energy. He is Sonic.
Right. Being someone who's so ingrained in the lore of Sonic the Hedgehog, are there any storylines from the games or the cartoons that you'd love to see adapted in live action one day?
Oh gosh.
I know, I didn't
That's tricky.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. It's tricky because the games were so different from Sonic Boom, the series. And so, and That's a really hard question because there were so many things in Sonic Boom that because we got to work as a group, it was very different storytelling than the games. With the games, you just have your lines and you don't get to see what the game looks like till you play it, So with the show, we had so many more scenarios. Like there were so many just silly, goofy characters that they threw in there. And it's a much sillier universe than in the films. So that's kind of hard to throw those scenarios into a film situation.
Maybe a simpler question would be like, are there any Sonic characters that you want to see jump into another movie?
I would love to see Amy join the group. That would be.
Yeah. Me too.
I'd love to see Amy.
So you've voiced a ton of video game characters. Are there any characters that you've voiced or any other video games that you've played that you think would make a great movie?
Oh, wow. Guild Wars 2. Have you played Guild Wars 2?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's got dragons and all kinds of mystical creatures. And I think that would make an amazing film.
Oh, that sounds like
lots of adventure and yeah.
So Sonic the Hedgehog is a character that really has a surprisingly large amount of lore, but Maddie and Rachel are characters who were written for the movies. So knowing that, do you ever still play some of the video games or dive into the cartoons, or do you feel like everything you need to know is in the script?
I mean, yeah, I think everything we need to know is in the script, but we obviously grew up on Sonic, right? And we know that there are cartoons, and there's so many different characters to pull in. But we were, like you said, written into the script. So it's exciting to figure out and explore where we belong, right? And I'm grateful that they used us and utilized us in a way that is very different from the first one, and can expand upon that. So, and I think there are just so many characters to pull from Sonic that we could be in that world with them.
Yeah, I feel like just like we're being influenced by the script and understanding who we are, the animated characters are understanding themselves in a 21st century context. They're not in an 8-bit world anymore. And so they have more depth and levels and, are experiencing the same world that we live in and in new ways. So there's it's nice to go through that discovery together. Right.
On the subject of that, are there any Sonic characters that you, either of you are excited to see in live action?
Amy would be my first choice.
Yeah.
I mean, because Ella keeps talking about Amy. Is Amy going to be there? I'm like, yeah, I know. And she's pink, which is my favorite color. So.
Yeah, I'd say Amy too.
Yeah.
So we've always heard about this video game curse, right? That suggests that video games can't make good movies. But, after Sonic and Detective Pikachu, I think it's, safe to say that the curse has been lifted. Have either of you ever played any other video games that you think this would make a great movie? And if so, what would that be?
I mean, I don't play that many, but I do see what my fiance plays and Ella, which I don't know if I should say this, but God of War, which they are.
Are they doing that? Oh my goodness.
Ella loves God of War.
That's hilarious.
Don't judge me. But they're making a film out of it. And I'm like, oh, it's so cinematic. And it's so crazy of how we grew up and saw the 8-bit, it was just pixelated. You can barely see it now, but now it's like a movie. So, it fits right in.
I would do, and very few people know this reference. It's Monkey's Island, which was an 80s, MS-DOS game of just pirating. And when 8-bit was an improvement, this was maybe a 2-bit game. It was just, my dad was an early adapter and had a Commodore computer, and I would just love to bring this pirate island to life.
This is like two best friends getting together to have a chat.
Oh my gosh, Chris, how's it going?
It is going fantastic. How's your day going, Lee?
Super. Man, this is so overdue, and
everybody's been bragging about how nice and how great you are in the interviews and the breakout rooms, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy,
you, man.
Lee, let's start out with the tough questions. Is it fair to say that Robotnik and Agent Stone have a little bit of sexual tension?
I'm not going to confirm nor deny any of that. I will just say that Agent Stone has an admiration for Robotnik that many people don't understand. And I don't think he needs to explain himself.
You know what? That's a fair answer. I don't think anybody needs to know for sure. Let's keep it a secret. So Sonic's a property that has a lot of lore. I think it's really surprising just how much lore it has. But Agent Stone was written for the movie. So knowing that, do you still want to do a deep dive and play the video games and research the cartoons, or do you feel like everything you need to know about Agent Stone is in the script?
I mean, for Agent Stone specifically, it's pretty much in the script, and what we kind of developed and evolved in the first movie, and then goes into the second one. What I did do though is I do continually to get kind of a refresher. Is okay, how did the right hand sidekicks or whatever to Eggman and Robotnik, like what was the key there, like and how can Stone stand out on his own? But there wasn't like much deep dive that needed to be really done.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
yeah.
So being somebody that, I know that you play a lot of video games and I know you've done your homework on a lot of Sonic stuff. Are there any like future storylines or anything from the games or the cartoons that you would love to see adapted in live action in the future?
Ooh, that's a great question, man. I don't know. Like, I mean, my favorite characters, like pretty much were and are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. I'm super excited to see what they're going to do with the Knuckles spinoff. Like, I'm really, really intrigued. That's kind of where I'd want to see it go. But there's so many characters. Like Metal Sonic would be an interesting thing to see. Like, how would you go about that in the live action world?
I agree. I'd like that too. So we've always heard about the video game curse. It says video games can't make good movies, but I think that's been broken after Sonic and Detective Pikachu. Have you ever played any other video games that you think this would make a great movie? And if so, what would that be?
Oh, there's so many great video games that it's tough because they're like really great video games. Like their stories are so well thought out and it's done. And so you start to question, should they make that into a movie or not? But I'd be curious to see Horizon.
Oh yeah. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that has like the great, like it's all set there. Maybe like follow a different story, like within the world of Horizon, but Aloy's story is incredible.
So being someone who I imagine has immersed himself into the lore of Sonic the Hedgehog, are there any storylines from the games or the cartoons that you've watched and you personally would like to see adapted to the big screen in the future?
There are. I'm hesitant to go into too much detail only because it's obviously still very early. I will say that we are teasing a character that I'm incredibly excited about. It's very personal to me as a fan. But yeah, no, right now, just obviously focused on getting everybody out to see Sonic 2 in theaters. It's such a big movie. It's such a fun movie. I think fans, audiences of all ages are just going to have a blast.
Yeah, I know the character you're referencing, and I am also excited, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's pretty exciting. So, two-part question. Obviously, the seeds are planted for a third film. How do you see the Sonic cinematic universe sort of expanding? And I know this is a small chance, but what are the chances this could all lead to like a big Marvel style live action Super Smash Brothers thing?
Nothing would make me happier than to just throw all the characters into a battle royale and do a big Smash Brothers thing. That would probably require some work from the lawyers before that could happen. But no, it's exciting. I think in terms of what we did with this film, bringing in characters that fans have known and love like Tails and Knuckles. I think that's a great blueprint from the 30 years of that Sonic's been around. There's such a wonderful library of characters, library of level designs, of worlds. There's so much great material there that could be added into the sort of movie timeline. So yeah, it's a wonderful sandbox, and I'm so excited to be part of it.
Is there one particular character from that Super Smash Brothers world that you would like to see cross over with Sonic? If you could just have one choice of a character.
Maybe a little. I mean, getting Mario and Sonic in the ring. I mean, that's everyone would kind of be dying for that, right? That's classic.
That's Batman and Superman video game style.
Yeah.
So we've always heard about the video game curse that says video games can't make good movies, but I feel like with Sonic and now Detective Pikachu, it's like I think that it's safe to say that that's been broken. So are there any other video games that you've played that you think like that would make a great movie? Like if there's one video game, what would that be?
It's funny because I think that there are more, you do see more games being made right now, maybe not as features, but like you look at like The Witcher has been adapted, The Last of Us has been adapted or is being adapted. There's lots of great storylines there. It's funny because all the stuff that I loved as a kid, certainly I'm getting to do it right now with Sonic. But no, it's one thing that I do think is great is that it does feel like video games are being taken more seriously, and whether it's a feature film, an animated series, a mini series, whatever, a live action mini series, I think there's a lot of great sort of opportunity out there. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited that Halo has finally made it to Paramount Plus. I worked at a studio where we did Halo promotions for a long time. It's very near and dear to my heart and a lot of the artists at Blur Studio where I worked. So yeah, I think I think there's a lot of great stuff out there, and it's exciting to see it starting to get its shot.
Well, one quick question I need to know: how many takes did Jim go? How many takes did you guys do with Jim when it came to like the mushroom coffee? That seemed like that was
well, he never does it the same way twice, which just makes you want to keep going because it's like, how many different things can he do? And then he does another thing and it's hilarious, more funnier than the thing he did before. So yeah, it really was up to him to say, okay, I'm tired of doing this because I'm ready to move on, because of course everyone on our side behind the monitors is just cracking up at everything he does. So yeah, and also the popcorn eating between the mushroom coffee and the popcorn eating. There's hilarious outtakes and alts. Like, once again, he just never did the same thing twice, and every single thing was hilarious.
So our next guest need no introduction. He's literally out of this world. Say hello to Sonic the Hedgehog and his new buddy Tails.
Please, I'm going by Blue Justice now, trademark pending. And this is Tails. He's a double threat, fluffy and adorable.
Sorry about that, Blue Justice. And so what do you bring to the table, Tails?
I'm so nervous, Sonic. I've never been on camera before.
You're doing great, buddy. Show them what you can do. Pretty cool, right?
And look how cool it is. There's no reason to be nervous. So how is this film different than the first one?
It is bigger and better in every way.
And I'm in it.
There's more action, more adventure. And since I have an agent now, there are perks. I have 4 words for you. Contractual chili dog breaks.
Yeah, I'd actually rather not take the breaks. So tell us about Knuckles. He's new to this movie. What's he like?
Well, he plays an echidna warrior sent to destroy me at any cost. And between us, I like to improv, keeping things loose. Knuckles goes method. And between takes, it gets weird.
It's funny enough that you say that. We actually have him in the studio today. Knuckles, do you want to say anything?
I do not.
See, that's more than we usually get out of him.
Noted. Knuckles, how are you enjoying your time on Earth so far? What's your favorite thing here?
Your society is full of soft and undisciplined weaklings. However, I do enjoy the planet's grapes. The grapes are delicious.
More of a strawberry guy myself, but Sonic, how does it feel to actually save the world?
Amazing. The kind of thing that only comes around once in a lifetime. Or twice. Maybe a third time if enough people watch the second time.
Yeah, I mean, I've already watched it twice, so I'm helping out as much as I can. Between you and Tails, who is better at video games?
Tails tends to die a lot and then fly back in a few moments later.
Yeah, I know you guys only have a few seconds left, but before you go, is there any chance I could grab a quick selfie?
Absolutely.